morning, Kyle Burmester, Public Works Director.
And Shanda Crystal, Purchasing and Economic Analyst.
I've been Shanda along because we've been working together on trying to get a pool for general engineering for all the departments. We've been working on that. We've still got some to go with it, but hopefully in the near future we're going to have something more set up.
So this is something that we met with the commissioners a while ago, 6 months or so ago, about getting together the general ones. There are very specific engineers that work on very specific things, and there are projects that are big enough that we want to, bid out as an entire package. One of those examples would be the renovations at the landfill. Right, we bid those services out. Great Western, is that right?
For like the expansion.
For the engineering, was awarded that bid. So we do want to keep those separate and outside of the pool. If the project is big enough, right, we'll bid it out individually, and or if the engineering services are specialized enough that we need a very specific set of skills, we're going to bid that out separately. These services today are general in nature, and as we met about 6 months ago talking about creating a pool of engineers.
Okay, but we're here on the agenda to talk about the signatures on these two. That's what's on the agenda.
Yes, so
we're not going to divert off into.
So these two are for general engineering, where that's kind of where we're working up to where we'll eventually have a pool for that. But for right now, we're looking at Paragon's the ones that have been working on the system. They've been working, last year we utilized them to get the RINs and REC sales together, which is not completely finished yet, and to get what prep work we need to get our second generator running. Some of that will be in this general to finish that up. I would just like to go with Paragon as for our general engineer for the gas system and landfill for the year of 23 fiscal year.
And this isn't something that we had to go out for bid on?
Correct.
Okay. This is one of those things, I think, in talking to Shanda a little bit about this yesterday, this is kind of like the taser thing out at the jail. If you change the tasers, then it requires the whole system to be changed, and this with Paragon, where they've done some of the previous work and have been instrumental in a lot of these things, if we were to change engineers on this, then it would set us back a lot of time and potentially some additional money because the new people wouldn't be as familiar with it. So I think that's why we're recommended this as it is, because it's an efficiency thing and a time thing.
If legalities are met, I'm good.
Shannon and I talked about this yesterday, and you're comfortable with that,
Yes,
Shannon?
as far as procurement goes, yes, and then they were submitted to legal for review as well.
Okay. Mr. Chair, make a motion that we approve the agreement with Paragon Consulting for the gas energy project as presented.
We have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Or just one?
Three.
One, just three, yeah, okay.
Anything else you'd like to know about this or?
We're there.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, next we have a letter of engagement with Wolfley for auditing services. I talked with Christie because I was confused with the dates.
Oh, yeah.
Why are we signing a contract for September of last year, this year? But anyway, she explained that they got to have everything there for what they are actually doing last year.
Right.
Gotcha. Mr. Chair, make a motion that we approve the contract with Whiffley for auditing services.
We have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And then, what time is it?
9:35.
Just right. We can talk about per diems.
Where's Christie?
Huh?
Where's Christie? Or are you just bringing this up?
Braden told Christie yesterday that he was going to have this taken off the agenda And so I'm not sure,
And nobody said anything to me, but I want it on there, and all I want to do is, we talked a month and a half ago about
Right.
meeting the national, and that's all I want to say. Let's go ahead and do that. What we've been waiting for is travel, automobile uses, and everything else. Well, this is an easy part to me. It's just, we all agreed about it a month and a half ago. Let's just go ahead and say that we'll meet the national published rate.
Do they change those once a year?
they fluctuate. I'm not sure how often they change, but they do fluctuate a little bit. Christie's only concern that we've talked about is if we keep it just barely under, not dollars, but cents even, so we don't get hit. But if people submit what the rate is that day, and that's required, then it doesn't matter if we just pay the national rate and they have to submit that. I don't think it'll be a problem.
That's the way I felt. I felt if we just submit, it puts the burden on the individuals to look it up. And then we trust them that they looked it up, we'll check. We'll just check.
We talked about having them submit the GSA rate for the day they calculate it with their paperwork.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I just move forward with that.
Okay.
Just get that
I don't think
done.
that's a problem.
Just to get that out of the way, because we keep talking about it, and every time somebody goes out, well, is it the old rate or is it the new rate? I get hit with that every time one
Yeah,
sheets
right.
come across the desk, so.
I was just trying to think if there was an easier way to do it for Christie, to just say, pick a date and say, we'll pay the dates on this one. But if they submit,
Should we do it, do you want to do something where even quarterly auditing goes in, and per quarter, if you travel in that quarter, then we'll pay that rate, whatever it is that's, I guess if it fluctuates down though, then during that quarter, we can't pay more then.
well, I think the easy thing is just make it the process is you have to submit your GSA rate that you're basing on.
Right.
That way we have documentation in the file.
Yeah, just like keeping receipts.
That's the way I like it that way. I mean,
Sure.
it puts a burden on the individual.
Right. It doesn't burden
And they have to have that paper.
Let's just go with that, and if there's some sort of a bump in the road that we hit that
we can adjust.
mess up, that we'll adjust it.
That's the way I.
Okay.
All right, so, Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we amend our, what do you call that? Per diem rate process to pay the current rate and require those seeking reimbursement to include the rate sheet used in their request.
Per diem request.
Per diem request.
And what standard are we using?
The GSA.
GSA, okay.
The published GSA rate.
Okay, so just so that
For that
everybody
day
has the exact same one.
Yep.
Yep, perfect.
You good with that, Nancy? All right.
Thanks
So you have a
for cleaning
motion?
it up.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. So, just a procedural note, do we want to have Braden send out a notification to everybody, or do you want that to come from Christie's office?
I think it ought to come from Braden. With cooperation.
Yeah, either way.
But I like Braden sending that out.
Sure.
So
That's fine.
We'll have him prep it, Christie can proof it, and then,
And the only reason I say that is she has a responsibility as a caretaker, but she doesn't have the obligation.
Sure, I think that's fine. Yep, no problems.
So the last item on our agenda, we're within our 15-minute time limit, is a discussion about road guardians and an individual to be put on that board. We need to go into an executive session.
okay, Mr. Chair, make a motion that we go into executive session under Idaho Code 74-206, Prim 1D,